All right, so welcome everyone to the channel. We are pleased to have Bob Novak with us today. Bob is the owner of Nova Water Filters, and that was easy for me to read right off of his shirt. So thank you, Bob, for doing that. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Bob and I, we've been friends on Facebook for probably a year now, but we've never met in person. So it's great to meet you in person finally, or virtually in person, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about you and you in the villages. I did open up the website, which I'll get to in a minute, but it says that you've been doing water filter installations for quite a while and there's quite a history. So let's talk about that. Where did this all start up?
Sure. Well, originally on Long Island, we still have a group of retail pet stores which sell tropical and saltwater fish.
Okay.
And those aquarium systems and the owners of people that buy those aquariums need special filtration for the most part for these fish and corals. And we've been doing that since 1974. And we developed our own systems. We developed our own components within the systems. And we were doing it on Long Island. We're still doing it on Long Island. But I moved to the villages about 13 years ago.
Okay.
And when I first came here, I immediately tried the water and knew we had to get one of the filters down here right quick. Yeah. And I started putting one in my own home, and my neighbor and word of mouth, and a couple of weeks later, I was doing 3 or 4 a week, and it just blossomed from there. And we've had good reviews. And then after a few years, I was not playing golf anymore. I was reaching a point that I was doing too many filters, more than I expected to do, knock wood. And my son from Long Island moved down here, and he kind of took over the installation end of it.
That's awesome. How long has your son been?
The sales end of it on the phone.
How long has your son been down now?
Pardon me?
How long has your son been in town?
He's here, I think 6 years.
Okay.
6, 7 years, yeah.
So like one of the things I saw on the website is that you've done, upwards of 14,000 installs, which if you do the math based on, 140,000 homes, give or take, that's almost 10% of the villages have one of your filters in them. That's quite a remarkable number.
Yeah, I'm always pleased to drive down any of the streets here, and when the homeowner has their garage door open, I can see my filters peeking out through the door. It's
see
really nice.
the 3 blue cones sitting there.
Yeah, kind of a trademark.
Yeah, they're quite recognizable, right? So let's just open up the website so that we can have a look at some of the services you provide. So one of the things that I noticed is that you do filter changes, you install water softeners, whole house filters. I guess the number one seller for you is the whole house filter. Is that correct?
Yeah, the whole house filter is the core of the business. Because any other component you have in the house, water filtration wise, needs clean water to operate. In other words, you don't want to have dirty water going through a water softener into your house.
Right.
There are people that install water softeners that don't pre-filter the water or even post-filter the water. So what they're getting is soft water. However, that soft water is still contaminated with all kinds of pollutants and chemicals and everything else. So you need both ends of it. If you're going to have a softener, you need a filter.
Right.
You can have a filter with no softener, but you don't want to have a softener without a filter.
So what is the price for the whole house filter? Let me just find that here. It's probably...
Well, we list all our prices online.
Yeah.
We have full transparency on all that. You're not going to get a different price from us, no matter where you live in the villages. We have online, we have it at $645, I believe.
Yep, $645 right here, yep.
Installed. We also show for $525, but that's not really for the village residents, because we prefer to install them here ourselves.
Right.
but we ship all over the United States. And when we ship out, it basically is reduced to about $525.
That's more of a wholesale price that you're sending to people
Yes.
that are ordering online, but like in
Yeah.
the villages
But,
for
and
you,
there's some shipping dollars involved in that. There's about $25 in shipping.
sure.
It actually is costing $550 to them.
So for 645, you get the filter system put in, plus you get someone to come and do that for you. And I know that one of the things that I noticed when I had it at my place is that they put in some really decent valves for the system, which is great because if I'm not there, if I'm a snowflake, I'm back and forth, I can turn the water filter right off, which is great.
Well, what we do is we have what's called a Schedule 80 water shutoff, which is a heavy duty water shutoff. It's heavier than the pipes that are in the house, actually, but it works very smoothly. We've never replaced one in 10, 15 years. They're really, really a really good quality unit. And the gives you the capability to shut the water off in a whole house.
Yeah.
Okay. And you would shut the water off in a whole house, for instance, if you had a problem where your toilet was overflowing or your sink was overflowing or something like that. We also use it when we do a filter change. We shut the water off. And in addition to that, our system has pressure gauges on it, pressure going into the system, pressure coming out of the system. So you could basically regulate what's coming in from the street. So typically in the villages, your water pressure is 70, 75 PSI, pounds per square inch. If you don't feel the water pressure is correct in the house and you go out to the filter, and for argument's sake, the filter said it was 40 pounds or 50 pounds, it would probably mean there's a problem out in the street and you would call the water company up to check it.
Okay.
The other reason is these gauges protect your home from overpressure too. We average over a half a dozen homes in the villages that have standard hot water tanks. They have expansion tanks.
Yep.
And those expansion tanks have a very high failure rate. They only last 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
There's a rubber bladder in them, and when that rubber bladder has a hole in it or fails, the water pressure in the house, even though it's cold water, the hot water controls the cold water, pressure-wise.
Okay.
So what happens is the pressure can get built up into the house to well over 100 PSI, 120 PSI. So it's a safeguard in that respect.
Wow. Yeah.
But we do replace, we don't actually do it, but we have the homeowner call a plumber and have them replace the expansion tanks at least a half a dozen times a month. We get calls on that.
And that's just, so there's no emergency flooding or risk of flooding, that type of thing, right?
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
Depends if they're aware of it.
Yeah, right.
You could have a pipe burst on your sink or any place in the house if that expansion tank fails.
Wow. Okay. And I know that like the house I've got in Citrus Grove has the on-demand water heater, so I don't have that type of water.
You don't have that issue.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah,
So
there's no expansion tank.
in the last number of years, you've obviously grown the business. How many employees do you have now working at Nova?
We have 9.
9 people. And part of that is installers, salespeople, and then you had mentioned.
We have two in sales.
Yeah.
We have Brad and Adam and myself, and we have the installers, and we have people that just go out doing filter changes.
So if I were to buy a water filter system from you, annually is the expectation to change the filters, is that right? Or is it based on the water consumption?
It's actually the testing that we've done shows that at 26,000 gallons of use,
Okay.
you should change the filter, because the carbon part of the filter is a part that reaches what's called an absorption point. It can only absorb so many impurities before it starts to let them pass through.
Yeah.
So we find that the time period is typically between 9 and 12 months.
Okay.
The problem is most people can't remember that. It's 9 months. Most people don't want to record and monitor their water usage every month.
Right.
So typically 1 year seems to work for everybody. They seem to remember the 1 year mark.
Right, right. Um, and then what about the people that are snowbirds? Is it longer, like because they're not using the water system?
Not really,
No?
um, because the water is still sitting in that system, stagnant, so to speak.
Right.
Although there's no oxygen, there's no sunlight, it just isn't a good feeling to come into a house where the water's been sitting for months at a time.
So the
People,
rule of thumb is if you're an organized person, get it done every 9 months, and if you're like me, get it done once a year. Right?
yeah, I'd say 90% of our customers do it once a year.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have some that are more diligent, but you know, it's not something you remember because the filter's sitting there. It doesn't make any noise. It doesn't have any moving parts.
Mhm.
It's just sitting on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess if you have the water system, you can do the filter changes yourself, or you can have someone from Nova come to do it for you. Is there a difference in price for that service?
Yeah, if you could pick up the filters at our warehouse, which currently, as of this video, the current price is $85 for the whole set of three. So that includes all three filters.
Okay.
If we come to your house and do it, there's an additional 40 odd dollars for the service, call, and labor.
And what's the best way to get that done? Is to go online and order the service, or give you a call? Or...
We give you two options. You could do it online, which is probably the simple, straightforward way to do it, and you put your credit card right on. Or you could call Adam directly, and he'll schedule it for you. And when we put the filters in, we put a card on the filter with the both numbers for the main sales and for the filter change.
Okay. Yeah, I know that the last time I had mine done, I wasn't even in town, and I was able to give Adam just the garage code, and he went in and did them, and yeah, we're done. That was great. Great service for me because
Yeah.
sometimes I'm up
Well,
in town a lot.
the people we have working for us, we've had working for us almost since the beginning. So we trust them to go in a garage and
Yeah,
do that kind of thing.
that's pretty trustworthy. Yeah,
We don't have a turnover of employees.
well, you said, I think that they're doing, up to 100 water filter changes a week. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a huge volume of water filters. So I guess your growth plan is just to continue to service the people in the villages, especially in the newer villages that are coming up with Newell and Dabney and like Denham, those types of. They're, I guess, the next three coming online, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting we've installed quite a bit in Newell already. Where we get them trickling in, and usually when we get one or two people in a new village to start, that word of mouth flies.
Yeah, because I know that like in the one house we don't have a water softener, but we're thinking about that, so we're going to have that discussion. And the majority of the people in my little area, they all got Nova filters because, like you said, one person got it done, and they tell the neighbor, and the neighbor tells the neighbor, and all of a sudden you got 30 homes in a village done within a month, which is fabulous.
Yeah, there's nothing like word of mouth because it endorses.
So let's talk about water softeners for a little bit. The water in the villages, is it fairly hard water, or is it decent?
It's not super hard.
No.
It is hard on a scale. Neutral is about 7. We run about 10, 11. Really hard water can be up around 13, 14, 15.
Okay.
About 70% of our customers only have the whole house water filter and are satisfied with it. We have some that insist on the softener, and of course we gladly do it.
Yeah.
We have some that even want to go to the next level and have us add reverse osmosis into their home.
Right.
Another thing we do, but not that many people are really aware of what reverse osmosis, or for short RO water, does. But that's the purest form of water you could get.
Right. And that's more of an under counter amount type.
Yeah, it's under counter. It's only for point of use drinking. It's not the whole house.
Right.
But for example, when we put those into a home, and we've done it because the customer insisted we put it in without the whole house filter. That filter is such a fine filter, particle size wise, it clogged up in 3 weeks. stopped producing any water.
Wow.
It's that might, finite.
Huh.
So we went back and we added the whole house water filter to his house, and everything was fine.
Well, and you make a good point, because I know that at one point I was talking to you that the filter, the first sort of 6 months you're in the house is when the filters are going to get the dirtiest because of all the new construction and everything that's in the pipes and all that. Is that true? Like, you should change those?
Yeah, very true. We've had homes that have really clogged up in 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Brand new section.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's probably just because of all the new construction going on.
Yeah, because what they're doing too, they don't do it much anymore, but they used to flush these big pipes as
Okay.
the building. And when they flushed them, and if you were unlucky enough to have your water on, it will let dirt and sand run right into your house.
Wow.
Now, without a filter, you didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So it did protect you.
Huh. That's amazing. Well, I noticed a huge difference between the taste and the smell of the water as soon as the filter system was put in.
Well, not only that, if you really look at your laundry,
Mm-hmm.
look at like fine white linen,
Yeah.
you could actually see a yellow or a dark spot along the seams if you peel back the seam a little bit, and that's the sediment in the water.
Okay.
It's like mud, sand, grit, silt. It goes into your clothes,
Wow.
and when you're cooking, it's in that water you're cooking with.
Yeah.
You're rinsing your dishwashers running through that. It's something that needs to be eliminated in not only your diet, but in your everyday use.
Yeah. So for the investment of $600 initially, and then another $80 a year, it's going to save you a lot on your health. It's going to save you on your clothing and your appliance wear and tear, the tap wear and tear, all that type of thing.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I'm not saying that because I'm selling a system. I'm saying that because it's a fact.
Well, and you use
And
your
if you
system.
go on our website, I even give you some of the myths about water filtration, water softening. We have pictures on there of what these dirty filters look like after they're in use.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of alarming. And it's kind of funny when I talk to some people and go, oh, the water's fine just the way it is.
Yeah.
To them, it's fine. I mean, that's their palate. That's what they want to live with.
Yeah.
But it's not true. It's not fun.
That's
And
great.
we've had laboratory tests to back it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way to contact you if someone wants to get a new filter system put in is to go to the website. And then I know there's contact information. Let me just pull it back up here. Let's see if I can find that real quick, because we want them to be able to contact you directly. So the contact link
Well,
is right
just
here,
go to the top left on the logo,
up here.
all the way to the top left.
Oh yeah, there it is. Your phone number there.
No, the logo.
Oh, the
Just
logo
click on
itself.
that. And if you scroll down a little bit, you see that green box there?
Let's click on that.
You could click on that, and that'll send your info directly to Brad,
Okay.
or
Use that for a new
call him
install.
directly from that phone number that's up there too.
That goes to Brad too.
Yeah.
And you can use this for filter changes, new installs, if you want to
Yes.
add a water softener after you've got the water filter. This is your main contact piece. So this is where people should go directly here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
And we advertise in the Daily Sun. We advertise on a few different areas, and you could catch our phone number on there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we want to make it as easy
But
as
everything we install has a full 1-year warranty guarantee.
Okay.
Anything that happens with it. We also offer extended warranties if you so desire, upwards of 5 years.
Okay, that's excellent. Well, I really appreciate your time, Bob. Like, it's good to finally meet you virtually, and I'm sure we'll get together when I'm back in the villages in July. Maybe we'll have to share a glass of water or two.
That or a glass of wine. Thanks for having us. And,
Yeah.
I appreciate the advertising.
Yeah, continued success.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a great one.
Yeah.